This is game changer because I practice law in the state of Arizona. I know people come to the YouTube channel a lot and they say, well, what about, in New York or California or Texas or wherever you are? Hey everybody, John Skiba here from the Consumer Warrior YouTube channel. And in today's video, I'm going to share something with you that I'm going to be honest, I hesitated for just a moment in determining whether I should even share it at all because I'm afraid that the information that I'm going to share today may even put lawyers and my lawyer friends completely out of business altogether. We're going to talk about using artificial intelligence and specifically the Chat GPT tool to help you to level the playing field in debt collection lawsuits. This is the missing link that I've always struggled with Consumer Warrior University and the tutorials, everything I've put together. I think that artificial intelligence is going to bring it all together to help you to have a better fighting chance against abusive debt collectors. But if this is your first time here to my YouTube channel, please go ahead, click subscribe, check on that little bell. That way you'll be notified each and every day when I put out new videos that'll help you deal with serious debt issues. All right, let's talk about artificial intelligence and how that can be used if you're defending a debt collection lawsuit, whether it be against a junk debt buyer like Portfolio Recovery Associates, Midland Funding, Unifund, LVNB, whoever it is. We're going to talk about how you can use artificial intelligence to really level the playing field if you're representing yourself. Now, I'm going to break this video down into two parts. First, the tool that we're going to talk about is Chat GPT. If you've heard about this, which I'm sure you have, it's been in the news everywhere, as far as this new powerful tool that is really helping to harness artificial intelligence for various different tasks. Well, there should be no surprise, it can be a big help in the legal industry as well as for people who are representing themselves. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to access Chat GPT. I'm going to show you how to open up an account. This won't take long. It's very simple. It's a free thing. It's not something you have to pay for. You just have to sign up for it and then you can use it. And then I'm going to show you how you can use it specifically to defend junk debt buyer lawsuits or even original creditor lawsuits with things like motions for summary judgment, discovery requests, answers, everything. Really, I don't know if there's any limit to what this tool can help you to do to have a fighting chance against these collectors. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the first part, which I'm going to show you how it is you can access this tool and how you can get all signed up. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I want to show you how to access this artificial intelligence tool, this AI tool. And like I said, you likely have heard about this Chat GPT, and the latest version of it is Chat GPT 4, or I believe they call it like Chat Plus. And so what you do is you go to this website, openai.com. You go there, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. It's going to give you some information about what the GPT-4 system is, how this whole process works. And then if you scroll down just a little bit right here, you're going to see that it's going to say try Chat GPT. And you click on that hyperlink, it's going to take you to a place where if you have an account already, you can just log in. If you need to sign up, you just click on sign up there, and then you're going to have to provide some information. Now, you're going to have to provide your email address. You can use Google to sign in if you have a Google account or a Microsoft account. And then once you do that, it's that simple. You'll have to check your email just to verify that because they do have you check off that you're aware that they actually are gathering data, not your personal data, but data as far as what your searches are, because this is an open tool where they're using it for research purposes. So everything you're putting in there is something that they're going to use to try to make the product or the platform better. So once you sign up, like I said, you'll have to check your email, then you'll have to log back in, and then you're ready to go. What I'm going to show you next is how you can use this very simple platform to create some of the arguments and things that need to go into briefs and motions and the different things that you're submitting to the court that'll put you on a near same level as the attorneys that you're going against who are representing the debt collectors. Okay, so go ahead and get signed up and then come back and then watch the rest of this video. Let's jump in on how to use this in debt collection lawsuits. Okay, so once you have your account here at openai.com, this is what you'll see generally. So this is my dashboard for Chat GPT. It's pretty basic, just gives you some general information. And then down here at the bottom where it says send a message, this is where you're going to input the query or the instructions or the directions to get the artificial intelligence response that you can then use inside your legal documents that you're submitting to the court. Now, I'm going to show you specifically how this works. So you'll see up at the top here, it says new chat, and it does save your prior chats that you have done. So it's kind of nice because you can go back to them and then copy and paste them. So a little bit of background as to what kind of big picture of how this is going to help you out. What I see when people are representing themselves is that often the debt collector's attorney will file some sort of motion with the court that requires you to file a response to it. If you're not an attorney, if you're not legally trained, if you don't have access to some of the online like case law type research tools, it can be hard to draft a substantive response that's going to get the court to rule in your favor on a particular legal issue. They know this. The debt collector's attorneys know this. And so in almost every debt collection case, they will file what's called a motion for summary judgment. A motion for summary judgment is where they're saying, Judge, we don't need a trial. Just look at our documents and tell us if we win. Now, you have to file a substantive response to that. It's not like the answer. You can't just admit or deny the allegations. You actually have to go in and provide legal argument as to why their particular legal theory or their claims should not carry the day, why there should not be a judgment entered. So what you can do is you can put in specific queries and request that it draft essentially that argument section for you, and you can ask for it to make citation to specific law in your specific state. And this is game changer because I practice law in the state of Arizona. I know people come to the YouTube channel a lot and they say, well, what about, in New York or California or Texas or wherever you are? I don't know. I don't practice there. I don't know the case law, and it's not something that I can provide you. This tool, while there are some limitations to it, particularly if there's recent case law, I believe anything prior to 2021, it doesn't guarantee that it's accurate. And, there could be some inaccuracies in what it's doing, but I've messed around with it quite a bit and I'm shocked. And like I said in the intro, I'm a little scared for the lawyers like myself because it does a pretty good job. It does a good job of reasoning and providing detailed information. So let me show you exactly how it works. So I put together a specific query that we're going to put in here. Down here in the send message thing, you're going to type this up. I had it. I just copy and pasted it. So here's what I'm telling Chat GPT to do. I said, draft a detailed argument that Midland Funding LLC, so Midland Funding is just a junk debt buyer. You could put anybody in there. Draft a detailed argument that Midland Funding LLC's documents are submitted in violation of the hearsay rule and that the business records exception to the hearsay rule, Rule 8036, is not relevant. And then here's an important part. I put include citation to case law from the state of Arizona court system. And that's a very important part of this because you want to put the specific state that you're in. I notice if you don't put cite to Arizona law or cite to Texas law or whatever, it's going to give you a kind of a general response. What I found is that the more detailed of a query you put into here, the better information you're going to get out. So now the amazing thing with this is you go over here, you press the little send button, and this thing works its magic that is both awesome and terrifying at the same time. So here it is. It's printing out an argument, which we will go through, but you'll see it does it very quickly and it provides a ton of information that is truly pretty astounding. We'll let it do its work here for a minute. Okay, so it did it. And then if you look at the upper left-hand corner here, it saves this as a query. So let's see what the computer said. Midland Funding LLC is a debt collection agency that frequently seeks to collect debts from individuals through lawsuits. In many cases, Midland Funding relies on business records to support its claims. However, the use of such records may be in violation of the hearsay rule. The hearsay rule is a legal principle that prohibits the admission of out-of-court statements to prove the truth of the matter asserted. This rule is based in the idea that hearsay statements are generally unreliable because the person making them cannot be cross-examined in court. Under Arizona law, so this is because I put that citation in there, instructing it to cite to Arizona law. It says under Arizona law, hearsay is defined as a statement other than one made by the declarant while testifying at the trial or hearing, offered in evidence to prove the truth of the matter asserted. And then it cites to the Arizona Rules of Evidence, Rule 801C, which is correct. The definition encompasses a wide range of out-of-court statements, including business records. Goes on to say, however, there is an exception to the hearsay rule known as the business records exception. Under Rule 8036 of the Arizona Rules of Evidence, records of regularly conducted activity are admissible in court as evidence as long as they are kept in the course of regularly conducted business activity, and it is the regular practice of that business to make such a record. In the case of Midland Funding LLC, the documents they submit as evidence are often not admissible under the business records exception. This is because the exception requires that the records be made in the regular course of business and that they be trustworthy. In many cases, documents submitted by Midland Funding are not trustworthy. For example, the documents may contain errors or inaccuracies, or they may not be supported by any other evidence. In addition, the business records that created the documents may not be able to testify about the accuracy of their records. And then it goes on, and this is key because in a legal argument, you can provide something that sounds good, but then you have to talk about the case law. There are several cases in the Arizona court system that have addressed the issue of whether business records submitted by debt collectors are admissible under the business records exception. For example, in the LVNB funding versus Harville, the court found, and it goes through there. Goes down here. In another case, in Midland Funding versus Jenkins, the court held that the business records submitted by Midland Funding were inadmissible because they were not sufficiently trustworthy. And then it gives you a conclusion. Based upon the above, it's clear that the documents submitted by Midland Funding are often inadmissible under the hearsay rule. And it kind of goes on. This is very good. So what you could do then is cut and paste this and put it in your Word document or your Google document, wherever it is you're drafting in response to the motion for summary judgment or whatever type of motion you're intending to do. And what's cool with this is you can even ask it to clarify it. You can put in there, please add the case citations. I'm doing this on the fly, so we'll see if this works. There we go. It gives you the actual case citations where you can find it. And then you can take those citations and go like to Google Scholar and look the case up and actually read it and have a good understanding. So that way you don't just have the case names, but you have actually the year the case was, as far as what the case citation is. You can even ask it to please expound on the argument of hearsay not being admissible in a motion for summary judgment. And then it's going to go on and provide you additional arguments as far as to why in a summary judgment specifically, it should not be it. And you'll see again, it's using Arizona law to be able to say that. You can even clarify it further saying, please add Arizona case law citation. And then it goes as far as the admissibility of hearsay evidence in a motion for summary judgment, gives the cases, gives their legal citation, and it gives a brief summary about the case. Which again, the more I do this, the more I think, I don't know what the future holds for lawyers. We're going to have to adapt or be replaced because the machine is doing a lot of the work that takes attorneys hours and hours and hours to do. So it's pretty exciting. You could also do something like this, where you could say, use the same argument, but apply, we'll say New York, but apply citation to New York law. And then they're going to provide us with the same exact argument, but you could use arguments to your specific state. So this is amazing. And this is something, like I said, is a game changer. This will level the playing field. Like I said, all you have to do, copy it, cut and paste it into your legal brief, and then you're going to have to go through it and tailor some of it to your specifics, and then apply this law to your facts that are specific to your case. So this is one area in responding to summary judgment where I think it could be amazing. Another one, we'll do a fresh chat here that you could do. We often talk about filing motions to compel private arbitration in debt collection lawsuits. So I could put here, draft a legal argument to compel private arbitration in a credit card lawsuit. And it'll go through and provide cites to the Federal Arbitration Act. Then we can say, again, we can tailor it to our specific state. We'll put include citation to Arizona law. And then it cites to Arizona revised statutes, cites to case law. We see the Dobson versus One West Bank case, and you can include all that in there. So you can see with a little bit of thought ahead of time, and like I said, the more detailed you can refine the searches as you go, this could provide, it's not perfect, obviously, but this is a powerful tool that can help you if you're really struggling as far as what you need to do, as far as, if anything, it gives you a starting point. Then you could put something like drafting an answer to a debt collection lawsuit with American Express, and just have it give you a general template. In this one here, it's drafting it as a letter, but you could tailor it so that it could be in response to a specific complaint or specific allegations. You can see the possibilities are really endless here as far as how this tool could be used. So I hope that's helpful, and I'm going to be doing some additional follow-ups on this and ways that we can use this in a kind of a deeper dive as you're trying to deal with maybe written discovery or even drafting discovery that you're going to propound on the other side. This can really give you a good start and a foundation where I know a lot of people aren't sure which way to turn or how to adequately respond to it. This can kind of get the juices flowing and give you actually information that can be cut and paste. Now, you do need to check the validity of it. Like I said, Google Scholar is a good one to go back, read some of those cases that it cites to there, make sure that they say what they claim they say. You do have a duty to provide good information to the court, but this is definitely something that needs to be in your tool belt and is going to become part of the Consumer Warrior University. I can tell you you that. We're going to be implementing this into a lot of the tutorials and courses for people that are representing themselves and dealing with debt collection. So glad that you could check in today. Like I said, I hope that was helpful. If you want to learn more about this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you want to do more deep dive, go ahead and subscribe to the Consumer Warrior University. And if you're in the state of Arizona and you need help, my information is below. I'm happy to do a free consultation to help you with your legal problem. And for that, we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching today.